Good afternoon, everyone. This is Israt, and I'm going to be hosting the AirWatch webinar today. Thank you for attending today. We're just waiting for more people to join us. So once we see that the number of attendants has increased, we'll shortly start within 5 minutes. Before we begin, if you could kindly state your name and the school you're attending from so that we have a track of the attendance. So yeah, looking forward to the webinar. Hello once again. We'll start in 2 minutes. Just waiting for more people to join us, so that nobody miss out any content. So it should be starting. We should be starting in 11:35. And if you could kindly just state your name and the school you're attending. And if for some reason if you have to leave, that's absolutely okay. Just so you know, this will be recorded. So once we are done, you can access the same video using the same link. So it's not even a problem. Okay, we are good to go. So welcome to the AirWatch webinar. My name is Esrat, and I will be conducting the webinar with my colleague Brandon. So basically, we're just going to talk about AirWatch altogether. But before we begin, here are a few things I would like to mention. So first, if you could kindly state your school name and your name so that we can keep a record of it, the school you're attending from, and if you have any question, we can also log a ticket for you. Before we begin, just so you know, this webinar is recorded and will be available at the end of the webinar. You can access it using the same YouTube link that you're using to view it. And there is a 10-second delay, so what I'm saying right now, you will hear it after 10 seconds or shorter than that. And if you have any question, feel free to ask. Brandon will be monitoring the chat section, so he will try his best to answer all of your questions. And if it's a question that requires detailed response, we will take it either offline or we will try to get back to you using a ticket method. Also, there are some couple of quality adjustments that you can do. So if you click on the gear icon on the YouTube, you can adjust the quality according to your needs. So if the image is a little distorted, you can adjust it also along with the speed. And you can change it from 1080 to 720, whichever prefers your need. But by default, it will be on auto. And make sure the live button has a red icon. What it means is that you are actually seeing the up-to-date content. If it's not red, that means you are a little behind. So what is the objective of this webinar? We really want our school to get familiarized with the AirWatch so that they can start managing the iPad more efficiently. And we want to highlight the key benefits of the iPad. And we'll also demonstrate how you'll be using AirWatch day-to-day basis in your school. So, what is AirWatch? AirWatch is a mobile device management system which allows you to manage your mobile devices from a single web-based application. It simplifies the setup and the management process for new and existing device. You can sometimes hear AirWatch being referred as mobile device management system or as enterprise management system. It basically means the same thing, and it's a centralized portal for configuring and managing mobile device. So it's a website that you go to where it has a list of all your iPads and you'll be able to manage them. So I want to highlight the key benefits of AirWatch. So previously we had a confusion as to which Wi-Fi portal to connect to. Every device that is on AirWatch will connect to WLAN, except when, for the first time, if you're enrolling it, you'll have to use TDSB Wi-Fi first to install the certificate. But after that, once it's completely enrolled, it should be on WLAN TDSB and you do not have to worry about signing into the Wi-Fi. Secondly, it's easy app installation for multiple iPads. So rather than going into App Store and installing apps on each iPad, you can simply log into the AirWatch website and push out apps to your multiple iPads. Consistent experience between iPads based on your configuration. So all your iPads, once they're enrolled on AirWatch, they all have same blue background and the same restriction and same apps depending on which you choose to have. And it has a built-in security policy which prevents students from adding or removing apps or applying passcode and locking the device. So, previously we had a lot of tickets where a student would put a passcode on it and teachers would have to go through the extensive process of connecting it to iTunes and putting it to the factory reset and losing all the data. So now with the AirWatch, there's a restriction in place which grays out the passcode section. So student can really go into the system and go into the iPad and put in a passcode or change the Apple ID. And it's a remote wireless configuration and update. So what it basically means is that you don't have to have all the iPads in front of you. So if there is an app that you'd like to push out, you can just simply log into the AirWatch console and push out the apps. Or if there is a any kind of change you want to make to your iPad, you will be able to do it, or anything at all. And it removes the requirement for Apple ID. So as you know, with the Apple ID, you needed it to install the apps or connect to iTunes, but AirWatch actually managed that part of your iPad. So having that part, you don't need to go into the system, go into the iPad and put in your iPad all the time. So who can log into the system? First of all, principal and AirWatch administrator can log into the system. By default, all the principal of the school are AirWatch administrator. Now, to be an AirWatch administrator, you have to be added as one using LAS, and it takes about 24 hours for the administrator to have access to the console. I would just also like to point out something. If you have been added and it's been over 24 hours and you still cannot get into the system, we have recently been informed by our application admin support department, who provides support for the AirWatch accounts, that there is a sync issue between our account directory as well as AirWatch. It doesn't communicate. So if you're having that problem, kindly call help desk and just tell us that it's been over 24 hours and you cannot seem to get in. We will sort out the issue for you. So we'll also have a demo for you today, and this will really help you to understand the look and feel of your iPad. We'll show you how to navigate the AirWatch console, and we'll show you also how to organize your iPads using smart groups. Now, this might be a foreign terms to you right now, but once you go through the demo, this will all become really easy. And we'll also show you how to add, remove apps and web clips on your iPad. Okay, before I begin, I'm going to connect to my, before we go into the AirWatch console part, I'm going to actually show you how it looks when an iPad is on AirWatch. So I'm gonna kindly just connect to my iPad. So I have my iPad here right now. Just gonna hide the screen behind. Okay, so I have my iPad here right now. So this iPad is currently right now on AirWatch. So you can see the background is blue. So first thing you'll notice is the Wi-Fi part. If I go into settings, the Wi-Fi, so usually if you click WLAN, it will ask you for a password. It should switch because I had to wipe my device, but it didn't switch yet. But you'll see when I click WLAN TDSP, it will automatically connect. For you, it will stay on TDSP. So when you first enroll the device, it will stay on TDSP Wi-Fi and it should automatically change to WLAN TDSP. If it doesn't switch, you can just simply click on WLAN TDSP. It will switch it for you. Okay, so once you are in WLAN TDSP, you will see the changes being reflected. And then I'm gonna show you, because this device is on AirWatch right now, you can see the passcode section is not here at all. And the iCloud section is disabled. All the sections are hidden. And this is the restriction that I was referring to previously. Okay, and then if I minimize the screen, you will now see, I don't know if it's actually, sorry, just give me 1 second. I don't think it's showing me the up-to-date streaming of my, sorry, this is quite embarrassing. My iPad is actually not responding. I'm just going to try to start the program. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. That was a little scary. So, okay, I'm connected right now. So I'll show you again what the part we were in. So basically, first I wanted to highlight the part of settings. The Wi-Fi, you can see it's connected to WLAN TDSP. It did not ask me for a password or anything. Now, I was also saying that the part of passcode is completely hidden. You can see the passcode is completely hidden. And also, the background is blue. And you can see the App Store is not here. The apps are hidden. Now, I wanted to mention there's two key apps that you are going to look for. It's called Agent and Catalog. So when you click on Agent, the first thing it's going to ask you is to log in, because in order for you to open up those restrictions on your iPad, so say you want the App Store, you want to set a passcode because this you need it for an hour or so, or this is something you prefer to have a passcode on it, you can go into the device and you can set up passcode, and you can also open up those restrictions and have a natural feel. But to do that, you have to first come into the Agent and app and log in. So I'm just waiting for my Agent app to load up. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi connection that's poor. Okay, so it's gonna ask me to log in. Just going to log in. I'm just gonna switch the window because it on the iPad it actually shows you the entire password. So I'm just gonna now it doesn't in order for you to open in order for you to log into this app, you don't have to be an AirWatch administrator. Any teacher can log in, but it will not accept a student login. So any teacher who has this iPad will be able to log in. So you, after you log in, you're going to see success, and you're going to see this message that comes up that tells you what kind of iPad it is and the status of it, and you want to wait for that. The moment you see it's successfully loaded, it's going to say, do you want AirWatch to send you a notification? You want to click allow, because that's what tells it, okay, any notification that are coming from AirWatch, I'm going to get it. So here now you can see after I log into the Agent app, I have the App Store icon. You can click it. It will look exactly the same thing as your other before the AirWatch. Now, if you need to install the app manually, again, you will still need to add your Apple ID. Okay, and then if you go to settings, now you will see that the passcode section has appeared. This was hidden for us initially. So now this section appears. So if there is a passcode that you like to place on your iPads, you can come in here and do it. Now say you have 100 devices and it's very cumbersome for you to go through each device to put a passcode. You can log a ticket to us and we can actually request to have that policy set up for your school. That way you don't have to waste time going through each device to set it up. Always remember, after you have done what you need to do on the iPad, go into Agent again and make sure to log out of Agent, because if you hand this iPad while logged in on Agent, the student will have this open. Like they will be able to set up passcode and everything on it. So you don't want that. Once you have done that, simply log out. Now, this catalog app, what it does is like, these are the apps that are on demand. So if you have any app that you like just on catalog, you can install it from here. So if I go into catalog right now, I don't know why it closed on me. So all this app, so if there's some app that you don't want on all the iPad, but you want this to be as an option available, it will stay here. So say it says installed because I have already installed it. But see this Toontastic app, I haven't installed it. So if I press install, it will install on this iPad. So catalog just makes it available for you. Some of the apps that you don't want to install yet, but you just want it to be available on the catalog for all the iPads. Whenever you like, you can install it just clicking on catalog. So I'm going to actually switch over from my iPad to my slide, and we're going to move over to talk about how we can get in the console. So logging in. How do you log into the AirWatch console? First of all, you can log in from anywhere on the web, not just within TDSB. So if there is a serial number that you need to look up, or if there's something you need to find out about an iPad, you can log into AirWatch from your home or outside the office. Currently, there is no browser limitation, so you can use Google Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer. There is no limitation at the moment. And the username format is TDSB / your employee number, and the password is your TDSB network password. And when you are logging in for the first time, it's going to ask you to create a 4-digit PIN. So this 4-digit PIN, you'll just be asked for the first time, and that's it. This basically allows, whenever you're performing administrative tasks, such as wiping a device, it will ask you for that PIN, because, you know, wiping a device is sort of like takes off all the data from it, all the contents from it, so that's why it requires that 4-digit PIN. So without any further ado, we're just gonna try to go into the system. So this is the link. It's https://cn239.awmdm.com. I already have it open for the sake of saving time. So this is the one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and log in. So like I mentioned, and the TDSB, this can be small, in all small or all caps. It doesn't really matter. It's not case sensitive. And then your employee number. Once again, if you're not able to get in, just keep in mind you might have not been added as a EMM administrator yet by your principal, and you might need to be added, or it hasn't been 12 to 24 hours yet, or if it has been over 24 hours and you still cannot log in, we are having a bit of a difficulty. You can log a ticket with us and we will restore the account for you. Okay, so now that I have keyed in my password, I am going to press enter. Now my screen is a bit different than yours, so if this is the first time you are logging in, what you will notice is so if this is the first time you're logging in, you will see the accept terms and agreement page. You're just going to click agree, and then after that it will load up the create 4-digit PIN for you. So this PIN, you do not have to share it with anyone. It's just a customizable PIN that just relates to your account, and make sure to confirm it and then click save to move forward. So I'm just going to guide you through the dashboard a bit so that you get comfortable. So I actually have two environments. I'm just going to switch to, I actually have it in my environment. Okay. So on the left corner, the three most important part is devices. apps and books, groups and setting. So as you can see, they are very self-explanatory. So devices covers the device, apps and books cover the apps, and groups and setting has to do with the smart groups. So on the dashboard, it shows you how many devices you have. It's just a graphical overview or statistical overview of your device status and your environment. And so right now it will tell you if you have any passcode, or how many of your devices are compromised, or how many has been last seen in 8 hours. And these are the breakdown. Now if you have any device that has been greater than 31 days, has not spoken to AirWatch, it's an indication that either that device is not communicating with AirWatch, or it's lost or stolen or missing. So you might want to find out which those are. And this just gives you the breakdown of the operating system, which iOS version you have, how many of them has 10.2, 10.1, and 9.3. This is the basic breakdown. Now, devices comes into two sections, dash view and list view. So the dash view is this one, which gives you a graphical and statistical overview. I'm going to switch to the list view. Now when I go to the list view, what it does, it shows me a list breakdown of all my iPad and all my devices. So here you can see all the devices that I have. It tells me the last seen information, the general information, the platform, the user, enrollment. Now the key thing is naming your iPad. So whenever the first thing I tell user is that if you're doing a self-enrollment process, as you enroll the iPad, you want to come in here and you want to name your iPad, because see this one right here, this is a UDID number, which makes absolutely no sense to me because I won't be able to remember this number. Now I'm going to actually show you how to name this device. To name this device, I'm actually going to go into the system and I'm going to show you how to do it. But keep in mind, you always want to provide a friendly name to your iPad. It's very easy for you to recall it. As for the schools that have gone with IT enrollment, I would say that after the field services have enrolled your device, if possible, if you could sit with them, log into your account and kindly provide a name or allocate some time to enroll the device. So now I'm going to show you how you can actually provide a friendly name to your iPads. So you see this pencil icon here. I'm going to click on here and this will take me to the window of my iPad. Now you want to provide a name that actually makes sense to you. So say this is an iPad that's part of a cart which is in room 2, and I have it labeled here as iPad number 23. So I'm going to say library cart, iPad 3, and make sure you mark this part, set friendly name as device name. Now the reason this is very important, because whatever name you put in AirWatch, you want this name to also show up on the iPad. And the benefit is that half the time we don't remember the serial number and it's really complicated. So if you put this, it will also show up on your iPad as library card iPad 3. And I'm going to save it. That's all you need to do. And once you save it, this should actually get reflected on your iPad. And I'm going to show you that it is indeed reflected. So if I switch back to my iPad right now, if I go into settings, and if I go into general and then about, you can see at the top right corner that it says library card iPad 3. So whenever you are speaking to help desk, or even if a student, you're saying, can you please kindly bring me the library card iPad 3, and this is how you can refer to it. You can look at it and you will be able to, you always have the option to also look at the serial number, but it's easier, I find, that to be able to just look at the name of the iPad. Okay, now let's move to the details view. So this is the list view. Now you want to know more about a device. You want to know health of it, what's going on, what's the apps that are installed on it, or you're having a specific problem with an iPad and you want to find what's going on with it. So firstly, to go into details view of a device, you have to click on the device. Now if you don't see it on the list and say you have more devices than me, like you have 100 iPads, you can just plug in the serial number, or you can plug in the friendly name on the search list corner. So if I say library cart iPad 3, it will just bring up that device for me. So if I press enter, you will see it will bring up that device for me. Oops, maybe it's very case sensitive. So I'll just put library card. Let's see if it brings it up. Okay, so there I have two devices, library card number 2 and then library card iPad 3. So you don't really have to put exactly. If you know the first 2 or 3 prefix, you can also type that too, as you can see. So I'm going to go into the device. That's my device that I just need to work on. So here you can see this device is not compromised, and status of it. So you can see the battery information here, and so here's the battery portion, 78% remaining. So if you see that iPad is not responding, is it low on charge or something, and the storage capacity, how much memory it has, and this section tells you the available iOS update. So if it's on 9.3, you want to upgrade it. If you want to see if there is a 10.2 or higher upgrade available, you can check it here as well. So there is app section. This section is very important. So if you are waiting for an apps to get loaded but you don't see it, you would come in here and you can see. So I don't know if you noticed, I had Toontastic installed on my iPad. I didn't have it installed, but I had it available on catalog. If I had it installed, it would be marked as a green check mark. So this is one way for you to verify as to what's going on with your iPad. Now, if you also want to see the status of your app, you also can utilize this troubleshooting button here under More, which will tell you whether it got the instruction of installing the app or not. So it says install application requested. So these are a few things that you could utilize. Now, I want to take you to the more important section of this, which is More Action tab at the top right corner. Now, this actually allows you to manage your iPad. The reason it's very important is that you can configure your iPad even if it's not in front of you. So you can perform a device wipe. Basically say this iPad is not responding, or it's creating trouble for you, or you just want to put a factory fresh reset on it. You can click on device wipe to reset it. Now the reason I'm not going to do it is because it's going to take a really long time for me to restore it, and it's going to interrupt my webinar. And you can also do iOS update through it. So for the iOS update, you will click on this and this will take you to the latest iOS update. So it's actually quite quick. So the moment you click it, it will be within a few seconds it goes through it. Also, but if you don't see it's not quick, sometimes it could be because of the Wi-Fi connection. Now, remember we named our device from the initial menu of a list view by clicking on the pencil icon. You could also edit your device, meaning provide a friendly name to your iPad by going into here too. So if I go into edit device, so you can see here. Now don't worry about this part where it says set friendly name as device name taken off. It just moves, sometimes the tick mark goes off, but it doesn't mean anything. The iPad name is still reflected. I'll show you. See, it's still there. Okay, and I want to show you another part is that say you have a passcode set up on your iPad and you want to clear off that passcode, or you want to put it to the passcode mode. So a student is using it and the student does not know what the passcode is. You can click on this lock button and it will lock the iPad to the passcode mode. So if a student does not know the passcode, they will not be able to get in. And another feature that I wanted to show you is the enable lost mode. Now, recently I got a couple of calls where they were asking me, hey, I cannot find this iPad. I don't know if it's stolen or where it is. I would like to, because the location service is no longer enabled, how do I track my iPad? Now there's no way for us to at this moment track iPad, but this method, enabling lost mode, is actually really good. Because what it does is once you enable this mode, if the device is connected to Wi-Fi, it will put it to a lock screen where whoever is using it will not be able to use the iPad. So without a further ado, I'm going to show you how to use it. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say, please return the lost iPad to music room 209. And then I'm going to, if you like, you can put a phone number. If not, it's up to you. So see, so I want to show you my iPad right now is normal. The moment I actually click on it, the lost mode will become enable. I just want to keep it open because my iPad will become unusable the moment I press it. So if I click send right now, there, my iPad is right now locked. I won't be able to get back to, so if I see I'm pressing the home button, nothing's happening. I'm trying to move it, it's doing nothing. The best part is that student or the person who took this iPad will not be able to use it, and it says clearly here where to return the lost iPad. So it says please bring your device to an administrator to unlock. So as an administrator, only you can unlock the device. So now say a student or someone who took the iPad brought it back to you, and you want to restore the iPad. So how do you go on about restoring it? So first you want to refresh the page. That's one thing I would recommend. I notice it doesn't load too quickly. So you would go into more action. You would go to disable loss mode. So the moment you do that, it will disable the loss mode and the iPad will be back to normal. So before I do this, I want to compare the situation so it's easier for you to follow. So I'm just going to minimize my screen a bit. Okay. So I'm going to do disable loss mode. So you can see my iPad screen is currently completely black. So I'm going to do disable loss mode, click OK. Now my iPad has a message on it which says iPad has been located. I'm going to click on my iPad to continue. Okay. Now my iPad is stored, but the reason you don't see it is because initially it got locked, so it timed me out. It basically took me out of all the application I was signed into. So I'm going to try to connect to it again to show you just basically. It's not responding. I took it off way too quickly. So I'm just going to start it again. Sorry, just bear with me. Okay, I don't want to waste time because I know some of you have to go back. So I'm going to give my colleague to restore this. And in the meantime, I'm going to carry on with so here I disabled the loss mode. If I come back in here, if I refresh the page, the iPad is back to normal. Okay, so now that we have taken care of this part, I actually want to show you one more thing, is that OS update. You can do that. You want to see the status of it, you can check here through. Okay, now we're done with the device part. How do we push out an app? But before you push out an app, the first important thing is that you have to create a group. Without creating a group, you will not be able to push out the app to it. So first we want to go to groups and settings, and then I want to click on groups, and then assignment groups, and then I'm going to do add smart group. So right now I have a lot of smart group in here, but I'm going to click add smart group. So you want, instead of select criteria, you want to select the option select device or user, and it's going to come up with the warning message saying, you know, whether you want to proceed with it. You want to click OK. Please let me know if your screen is frozen or if you're not able to see the up-to-date version. It'll be really good to get some feedback in case if you're not seeing the latest content. So you want to type in a friendly name to your smart group. So it's similar to as providing a friendly name to your device. So I had a teacher who told me they're doing a robotics program. She wants to just create a group for robotics. So if these devices belong to a specific program or model school or kindergarten, you want to name it. So I'm going to name it as grade 4 iPads. Okay, so once you have provided a name for your smart group, you want to go under the section devices where it says enter device friendly name. You want to click here and it will pre-populate the list of iPads you have on under your devices. So now I know it's this iPad right now, library card iPad 3. I'm going to select this and I'm going to add this. You can add more than one device. So if I want to add more than one device, I can select library card iPad 3. I can click here. So as you add them, you will see the devices number will increase, and then you can click save, and this will save the group. Now say you got 38 or 40 more iPads and 40 new iPads, and you want to enroll it to the same group. So once those devices are in AirWatch, you have enrolled them in AirWatch, and you have provided a friendly name for them, you can come back to the same come back to the same smart group section, assignment group section, and you can go ahead and add it. So say I created this group called Grade for iPads, and it says I have 2 devices here right now. So I want to add more iPads to it. You click on the pencil icon, and then there you can click on it, and it will bring up the list again for you. You can say this is one of the new iPad, and I want to add it again there, and then you click save. So once you have successfully added the smart group, you're good to go. Then you can proceed on pushing out apps along with pushing out web clips. So I'm going to move to the section of apps and books. So keep in mind, once you're in apps and books, I noticed often we get calls where everybody's like, I don't understand why the apps section has this apps. Actually, this apps does not even pertain to your school or even pertains to me. This belongs to entire TDSB. So whenever you are searching for an app, always keep in mind you have to type in your school name, and you have to type in your school Trillium number. If you do not know what your school Trillium number is, it's right over here. So for me it's 9991, comma, it's separated by a comma, so it's usually a 4-digit number. So if I type in 9991 and press enter, it will bring up the list of apps that are available for me. So right now these are the apps that are available for me to push out. Now I do notice a question here. It says, so the admins have to push out the apps for each teacher who have requested the apps. That's correct, Christine. So if you do not see an app that's on the AirWatch environment, you first of all you have to find out whether an app request form was filled. So what an app request form does is, regardless of free or paid apps, it must be filled through app request form. And usually an administrator are provided with this app request form. It has the section of providing name, first name, last name. Now this app request form sometimes takes up to 10 business days. So that's why usually when a school gets enrolled on AirWatch, we tell the teachers or we tell the administrator to provide us a list of all the free apps that you would like loaded on your console, and we usually go ahead and add them. But in future, if you need a paid or free apps, you have to request it through the app request form. I hope that answered the question. And will we go over how to get all of our iPads on AirWatch? You know what? That's a very good question. We are actually currently discussing whether we'll cover the material, but I'll come back to it. I just don't want to waste the time for other people. But we have taken that suggestion, and we are thinking of making some changes to our webinar, whether we can cover that topic. But we have training material available, which shows you step-by-step procedure as to how to enroll your device. Okay, so to go back to the apps part, how do I push out an app? So first, you have to check whether the app is available. You have to type in your school Trillium number. In my case, my Trillium number is 9991. Now, say you requested an app, it's been 10 days, and you get an email saying your app has been successfully loaded on AirWatch, and you still do not see it on this. You still do not see it here. Now, sometimes I have only 17 apps. Some school has about 80 apps. So you might have 1, 2, 3, 4 like sections. So you'll have to go through 2, 3, 4, 5 to go through it. So also one more thing, you have to press sync assets. What it does, it forces the app environment, AirWatch app environment, to forcefully to communicate with AirWatch to update the list of apps. So once I click on it, it will tell me you're trying to upload, and you click OK. You'll see it says sync in progress right now. So right now I'm going to show you how to push out an app. We have created the smart group, so I'm going to try with this app called Angry Birds. So if I click on it, I want you to make a note of this, because this is the most important part. Whenever you're pushing out an app, for the first time on your AirWatch environment, you have this section where it says enable device assignment. Now, the reason it's very important to enable this because when you click this, it will tell the device that this app is part of AirWatch. If you do not press this, every iPad you push it out to will come up with the Apple ID pop-up, which will ask you to sign in. So by enabling this, you're telling the app, I am part of AirWatch. AirWatch gives me permission. Kindly go ahead and install me. So I'm actually not going to push out this app. The reason is because I have to use this app as a training. So I have to have this on because once I enable this, it will not ask me again. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and push Google Sheets. So I'm going to click on this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to enable it for this one. This one has it. So I'm going to click OK. Okay. The second thing after you have enabled that, it says add assignment by license code by smart group. You want to click on that. Then it brings up this section which asks you to select the smart group. You want to click on it and it will bring up the list of smart group that you have created for your school. So I want to push it out to the smart group that I created, which is grade 4 iPads. I will select this, and the amazing thing is it will pre-populate the list of devices you currently have on your under the smart group. So usually for free apps we actually get 500 license. So what I usually tell people is to allocate more than 3 because this is free, and in future you're most likely to get more iPads, and more iPads might belong to grade 4 groups. So increase the number, double it. So I would put 20. I want to allocate 20 license to this smart group. So in future, if I add more devices to this smart group, every device that is part of the grade 4 smart group will get this app, as long it doesn't reach above 21. Then if it reach above 20, then you'll have to come in here. You'll have to change the number allocation from 20 to more. Okay, and after that part is done, you come into the deployment part. Assignment type is automatically auto. Now the auto basically means is that once you click save, it will automatically install on your iPads. Now if you want to put on demand, what will happen is it will just make it available on catalog. So once it's available on catalog, like I showed you previously, you can simply click install and install it from catalog. But if that's usually time consuming, usually someone would not prefer that method. So I would leave it to auto. And you want to set the option remove on unenroll, meaning if a device is unenrolled from the smart group, I want the app to be removed as well. Or if the device is wiped or turned completely factory wiped, I do not want this app. So and then you want to click save. So I made sure I have everything good. So I added the smart group. I have 3 devices here. I allocated more than 3 because it's a free app. And assignment type, I set it to auto. Remove on unenroll, I set it to tick mark, and then I'm going to click save. Once I click save, I will show you the number of my apps available gets reflected. So right now you can see available license is 500, it says 0. So sometimes you actually need to refresh the page. So I'm going to refresh the page. And then I'm going to just type in my school Trillium number again. And then sometimes it does take time, but if I go in here, I can see it's already there. I want to be able to show you how the apps look from my iPad, but for some reason it's not responding at all for me. So at the moment I'm not sure why it's doing that, but just give me 1 second because I want to be able to sorry, we lost a connection for a little while. So I was just trying to connect it to my iPad. So you can see when I put a passcode on it to disable it. So the app still hasn't appeared on my iPad yet. Sometimes it does take a bit time for the app to appear because keep in mind it's been done over the Wi-Fi. So I want to recommend one of the troubleshooting thing is that if you notice you have a couple of iPad that did not get the app, first thing you want to make sure is that you have Wi-Fi connection. So I do have Wi-Fi connection here. It says WLAN TDSP. It does happen. Sometimes the devices go on to sleep mode, so you might lose connection, but it's very rare. So it's just one of the troubleshooting steps that I wanted to mention. So I pushed out this app. Now I want to see whether my device at least got the instruction to have this app installed. So if I go into devices and if I go into list view, and then if I click on this iPad, I want to see why it's taking long or whether it will actually install it. So if I go into apps here, I want to see whether it got the Excel instruction. So there, sorry, Google Sheets. So it's in the process of being installed, but it's not there yet. So you can see it got the instruction, but it's just waiting in the background. The moment it gets the Wi-Fi is available or the connection is strong, it will get the app. Now that we have added an app, how do we go about removing an app? To removing an app, it's the same process. You want to go to Apps and Books, List View. You want to type in the school trillium number. And then say I don't want that app pushed out. So I will go into Google Sheet again. I'm going to click on the Edit Assignment tab once again. To remove the app, it's very simple. All you have to do is click on the crosshair. It will remove the association with the app. So if I click on this, it's going to say you're about to remove it. You're going to click OK. And then that's it. And click Save. Save successful. So this will remove the association of the app from this iPads. Now sometimes you have a couple of web clips that are mostly accessed by students, and you want to have that web clip be available for students so that they can access it whenever it's possible rather than just going through the browser. How do we go on about adding a web clip? So I have 3 of them loaded here right now. You can have more than one, you can have multiple. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually, you know what? I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to show you how to add one. So say I'm going to copy the AirWatch training material. I want to add the AirWatch training material available. So you say you are a teacher, you want to have the AirWatch training material available for you on a specific iPad. You simply go into you want to have it available on all the iPad or on few iPads that are used by teacher. So I'm going to click on Add Application. You're going to select the platform, which is Apple, and you're going to click Continue. And the name of it, I'm going to say AirWatch Training Site. And the URL, I'm going to paste it here because I copied it off here. And I'm going to assign an image to it. So I'm just going to look up AirWatch. If it connects. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on this and I'm just gonna save image as, I'm just gonna save it to my desktop. Okay, so now that I have it saved, I'm gonna load this image on here. So it says click or drag files here. I can click here and I can select it from my desktop, which is this. And assignment type, that's the most important. Now, do I want to provide it to all the iPads? If you want to provide it to all the iPads, you need to have a smart group. I think you already have a smart group. Every school has a smart group which says all the iPad for the school. So you can select that smart group. So if I click in here, it will bring up all the iPads that are available for my school. So right now I'm going to push it out to the grade 4 iPads that are available for me. So I'm going to click this. Exclusion should be set to no, and push mode auto. What the push mode does again is the same thing. I want to make it available on auto so that it gets downloaded automatically. On demand, we'll put it on catalog. Now you want to expand the advanced tab. Removable, you want to say no. What removable means is that in iPad, if you previously previous to AirWatch, if you hold on an iPad app, it would shake and it would have a cross beside it. So say if I click on this right now, see it's shaking, all the icons are shaking. So before you would have a cross beside it, which will allow you to remove the app. But now that option isn't available, because I could make it available if I want to. So if I go in here, removable, I set it to no. But if I set it to yes, I would have a cross beside it. But I want to set it to no. I don't want the student to be able to remove it. Full screen, do I want it to full screen? I want to say no, because I don't want the app to open up on a full screen. So and then I'm going to go click save and publish. And then it's telling me you're pushing it out to 3 iPads. Are you sure you want to proceed with it? And I'm going to say yes, I want to proceed with it. I want to click publish. Okay, now you can see my list of available web links has updated. Now it has increased to more. I want to show you that it's available on my iPad as well. So here, right here, you can see the AirWatch training site. If I click on it, it will take me to the ServiceIT page. Now because it's an AW page, I will have to log in, but usually if it's a different page for you, it will not have to log in. It's just something that I chose to work with. Okay, now I'm going to go into apps and books section. Remember to always use the sync asset tab, because it's actually a very important feature, and the reason we tell people to use it, because it actually forces you to communicate your device with AirWatch. Now this is what we actually had planned for our AirWatch. I hope we have covered all the basic topics that usually people have problem with. If there is anything that we missed out, you can always you'll be provided with the feedback form. You can tell us what is that you would like us to expand on. Now I did see someone mention that it would be really good to be able to see what's how is a device enrolled on AirWatch, an existing and new iPad. We thought that would be a good suggestion too, but because due to the time constraint, teachers have very limited time, right? Usually I'm pretty sure some teachers are taking their lunch time. So that's why we had to streamline our content. Now I'm going to check with my colleague if there is any question that we would like to take up on to show you on the environment. Let me just check. Is there any question that you want to follow up on? Okay, right now there is no question available at the moment. I just want to thank all of you for attending the AirWatch webinar today, and I wanted to mention a couple of few things too.
We talked to Kristen.
Kristen?
Chat.
So, actually, Kristen had a question. So before teacher.
So Kristen's saying that she's saying, I get the group of iPads. So basically she's saying, so before teachers would pick their app and download on their iPad, now they have to send an app to me, then I send it to AirWatch and I push it back out to them, then they can download. So I think I just want it to be made clear that if they don't want to manage AirWatch and they find it's a little cumbersome, they can tell us that we will do it for you. So they say, I want these apps on these iPads, and they can do it. But there is always the old-fashioned way of doing it through the agent.
Okay, so Kristen, to answer your question, Brandon was just saying, yes, this process is a bit cumbersome, and if you think it's a bit complicated, and we do have the option. So suppose teacher submitted an app request for teacher submitted an app. They want it loaded, and once you get the email confirmation, and if you do not feel comfortable pushing it out, you can actually log a ticket to us. What we would do then, we would push out the apps for you. You just need to let us know whether you want it on all the iPads or which smart group you wanted to have it pushed out to. Then we would allocate it for you. We completely understand that this process is very complicated and it is a bit cumbersome, so we can definitely push out that apps for you. It's not a problem at all.
So I think there's a bit of confusion here. So explain that.
Also, one more time, Brandon suggested that it's better that we highlight how the process works. So if an app it's not available on your AirWatch environment. So you typed in your school Trillium number here, and you don't see the app, what you want to do is then you want to find out whether, as an administrator, first try to think whether you have submitted that app, check through your email whether you got an email confirmation for this app. Then you want to ask whether you have waited 10 days. If you have waited over 10 days and you still don't see the app, you can send an email to the app request at tdsp.on.ca and just find out the status of this app. Because that's a teaching and learning email account. What they will do, they are the one who actually migrates those apps for you on the AirWatch environment. But suppose you got the email and then you come in here, you press the Sync Asset tab after you type in the school Trillium number. Usually you will be able to view the app here. So that's the basic process. So you fill in the application, you get an email saying the app has been added, you come into the environment, and then you type in your school Trillium number, and then you click Sync Asset, and then you look for the app. I hope that explains how the app process or how the app is requested. I'm going to check if there's any other question we can take up on. So, Kristen, what we will do, because I think you might have a little difficulty here, or you might not be understanding the process, or it might be a little complicated. What I will do is we will actually log a ticket for you, and then we'll call you. And if anything, we will walk you through the process if required so that it becomes easier for you. I hope that helps. It's just because sometimes this webinar might be a bit quick, then so we might not be able to cover all the content. So if anything, we will contact you and we will explain the process to you. Let's see what Kelly had.
Should the apps appear on the iPads if I have already filled out my form, but I'm slowly adding AirWatch to the iPads?
So, Kelly, I think as I mentioned, once your devices are on AirWatch, they're on AirWatch. App process is separate. For app process, you fill in the form. You have to wait for an email that you get that says that your requested app has been added. Once you see the app has been added, you go into the AirWatch environment. You type in your school Trillium number at the corner, and then you'll see the list of apps that are available for you right here on the same environment. Also, if you see that you're running into difficulties, you're still not understanding the process, how it works, you can always call us. We'll be happy to assist you. And we have a support page too. So it's https://serviceit.tdsp.on.ca/mdm.
So our apps have already been added. So now you need to add them to the smart page.
Okay, so I see that, Kelly, you mentioned that your apps has already been added. So your iPads are not on AirWatch yet. So to go back to this, Kelly, is that the support page you see here, the serviceit.tdsp.on.ca, this actually tells you how to enroll your iPads on AirWatch. So I'll actually open it up for you. So once you are in training material, I'm going to go one step back because actually this is the page. I have it bookmarked. So Kelly, you want to follow along this training material right here. We cover how to enroll existing iPad, how to enroll non-TDSP iPad, how to enroll new iPad. And all this actually has videos as well as PDF. So suppose you have a new iPad and you want to see how to enroll it. So it has steps and pictures included for your convenience. So usually, it's the setup process, hello, English, language, and then, country, the Wi-Fi. So you want to follow along with this one. This will be able to help you. And if you have any question, I know that we have gone over by a bit, 12:31 right now, but I want to thank you once again. Thank all of you for attending the AirWatch webinar. You will be provided with a feedback form. If there is something you would like us to cover, we'll be happy to assist you with that. We always take feedback as a positive thing because there's always room to improve. So just let us know, and if there's a question that we could not answer, we will try to log a ticket or get in touch with us. get in touch with us and we'll try to show you step-by-step process. But the training document site is available and it is really good. I mean, it has pictures along with videos. And if there is something that you're missing, you don't see, let us know. We'll also try to add it. So I'm going to go for 2 more minutes and see if there's any more question that you want me to cover. And if there is nothing, then we'll close the video. All right, looks like everyone is gone, and we will end the AirWatch webinar. Next webinar will be not this coming Thursday, the next Thursday. All right, have a wonderful evening, everyone.